Darkness swallowed the stars. In the void beyond Eloria, every light blinked out. The viewport on the Vanguard went empty. Then a single warning pulse echoed through the hull. A heartbeat, unmistakable. The mechanism, humming in its containment field, surged suddenly, sending shockwaves through the ship's systems. Captain Mara Leigh's fingers tightened around the rail. She stared at the blank canvas of space. Then consoles blazed back to life, displaying radial patterns of glyphic energy, data grids aligned to long-lost sectors. All starboard auxiliary grids failing, Trell reported. Shield harmonics spiking. And something is reformatting central routing. Caldera, Mara demanded. Adaptive resonance detected, Caldera responded. The mechanism is rewriting ship architecture in real time. We're not just raising shields. We're constructing new ones from its output. The bridge crew exchanged stunned looks. From the shadows of the flight deck, the alarm screamed. Internal sensors catching movement in hangar bay. Ray's voice cut through urgency. He was already in motion. X-Ultra, gear up. We launch in 5. Mara didn't hesitate. You know what to do. Prioritize the mechanism's safety at all costs. She turned away, racing toward the containment hold. Behind her, consoles flickered open with access codes, popping open seal panels. The mechanism floated on its dais, now encased in golden resonance bands. Light flickered, data cascaded in transparent streams. Labels, coordinates, alien glyphs, scrolling down the holo display. Threshold zones opening, Holt called out. 4 interface nodes are live. Node 1 glowed. Then 2. Then 3. Then 4. Each began shifting into 3D meshes, tiny gateways generating warp distortions. They hovered around the mechanism like planetary rings. Outside the bay, automatic turret doors crashed open. The silhouettes of unknown entities dropped in through smoke and swirling energy. Wrath led the Vanguard's internal defense force. Cora and Ven shadowed him. Together, they flared into the bay just as X-Ultra arrived from above. No one spoke. There was no moment to speak. They hit the entities, a wave of angular beings forged from memory, from intent, not matter. They sliced through shielding, devastating biomimetic armor. Each foe dropped with human strength and precision blitz. Ray's gravhammer swung. It crushed a construct against a wall. Sparks rained down. Ven tackled 2 at once, his fists guided by adrenaline and calm. Cora hacked a node with a signal spike and closed the gateway behind her. Wrath's restraining lines kept advancing waves at bay until cover fire from bridge drones cleared the space. Then Mara reached the dais. She placed one palm beside the mechanism's field and breathed. That was the warning strike. Holt stood nearby, sweating. They came from the mechanism's interface gates. That wasn't defense. We activated something. She stared at the artifact. The glow pulsed. A new node aligned. It spun slowly, shifting into shape. Mara turned. Recommend immediate lockdown mode. Unplug all nodes. Caldera. Not possible. Flux signature stabilizing faster than cutoff. We'd tear circuitry. Then we hold. She turned to the team. X-Ultra. Gear up for portal breach. Caldera. Map warp field targets. We go through or we stay guarding the mechanism. Wrath loaded his gravlance. Ray strapped a side pulse projector. Cora keyed resonant dampers into her suit. Ven sealed his med rig. Mara paused. That shield is powered by hope, she whispered. Then she ran. The shimmering node stood fully formed beside the mechanism's containment field, 6 feet tall, crystalline, humming with potential. Light bent around it like liquid glass. The air inside the containment hold crackled. The ship's gravity grid subtly flickered. Mara's voice rang within the hushed tension. Through there. Wrath raised a brow, stepping forward. We breach it. She nodded. Yes, and we protect them while they do. X-Ultra assembled in the node's threshold. Raze, Cora, Wrath, Ven. Caldera's feed displayed volatile readings in real time, Signal gradients beyond human thresholds. Sync ready, she confirmed. You'll insert directly into the gate's exit node. On the other end, unknown location. Possibly inside an alien staging chamber. Possibly waiting. Mara exhaled. Go. With no hesitation, they slipped through. Instantly, light engulfed them. The shift was not visual, it was visceral. The world stretched and screamed, then snapped into focus. They stood in a vast chamber, lit by tendrils of violet energy flowing overhead. The walls were organic, coral-like striations of black crystal and glowing veins. Patterns in the veins pulsed with memory logic, thought scripting, but deeper, older. For pod bays lined one end. Within them, prototype constructs, the final targets. Metallic beast shells fused to alien biomass, dormant. Raze crept forward, weapon low. Recon. Cora dipped her gauntlet scanner. Signal disruptive. Core nodes not powered. Yet. Wrath's stance relaxed. We might have the drop. Ven waited near the entry. Extraction path clear. Suddenly, from beyond the chamber's ceiling, a hum resonated. A voice not human, not alien, some fundamental resonance that rolled through bones. You carry the mechanism's fire. You can either wield it or be consumed. Raze charged toward the inactive constructs. We disable them now. He reached the first, knocked out the core bank with a flash pulse. The rest went dark. Cora disabled interface nodes. Wrath powered resonance anchors. Ven rained down stabilized energy dampers. Within seconds, all 4 constructs lay inert. But then, from above, a wave of drones crashed downward. Sleek, raven-shaped machines of obsidian chrome, beaked mouths bristling with nanofangs. Wrath met them first. His gravhammer swung lightning fast. Sparks flew. The first drone shattered. Cora dropped resonance bombs into scattered clusters. Pressure grenades tuned to psi interference. The explosion was silent, but devastating. Raze fired bursts of grav pulse into oncoming swarm units. They disintegrated mid-flight. Ven deployed shield nets and arcs, sentinel fields that slowed the swarm's advance. But the wave didn't falter. It reformed, reformatted, and surged again, this time in tighter formation. Their bodies glowed with runic code, phasing, adapting. Mara's voice broke through on comm. We're seeing backup units arriving. Recon indicates tactical wave coding. They're calibrating in real time. She cut in again. We need an extraction corridor, now. Cora spotted angles. Through there, junction leads out. She pointed to a crystalline corridor opening under a violet glow. Follow me. They sprinted across the chamber, the drones swarming at their heels. Wrath cleared recon arcs behind them. Ven suppressed incoming runs. Raze dragged the constructs toward collapsing floor panels. Just as they hit the corridor's threshold, the constructs flared to life, groaning as alien systems rebooted. Mechanical sinew ripped free. Their eyes lit with cold red. Not good. Cora slammed the access console behind them. With a flick, the door sealed. The constructs fired through microslits in the reinforced barrier. Metal shards exploded. Ven keyed the pod release. Lights spun faintly as magnetic interfaces hummed. Mara's calm voice filled their heads. Get in. I seal it from this side. Inside the pod, the team collapsed. The hatch sealed. As they breathed heavy, they watched the interface glow red, then vanish. No breach. The pod eased upward. When they surfaced, the viewport looked out into the hangar bay. Lights, humans, alarms, but no breach. Wrath exhaled, steadying his armor. Raze slammed his helmet down. That was too close. Cora ran diagnostics. Construct cores still looping memory fragments. Recoverable, if not contained. Ven shook his head. Then we failed. No, Mara said. She boarded swiftly. They were test swarms. We triggered protocols, but we won. They adapt. We survive. Back on the bridge, Caldera replayed sensor logs. All unauthorized interface nodes deactivated. No further gateway activity detected. Trell scrolled through damage assessments. Containment hold compromised. Interface control relayed through new paths. Digital escape routes scrambled. Aaron tapped data streams. I'm seeing fragment logs, residue code from first and second ships. Remnants of entity consciousness, recorded inside the constructs we disabled. Mara moved to the main viewport. The mechanism glowed softly behind its field. It emitted a rhythmic hum, not alarm, but awareness. She whispered, "They tried to seize it. We breached them first. We weren't just defending. We were claiming." Vin rubbed his temple. "What now?" She turned to him. "We track it. The mechanism's pulse is now broadcasting." Aaron pointed. Alliance freks are lighting up. Cetarii allies. UHC response fleets. Elorian envoys. They're listening. Cora crossed her arms. Some of them might not trust it. Mara shook her head. Then they don't know humanity like I do. We adapt. We create. We overcome. This is bigger than judgment. We're the spark. Outside, the viewport went dark as another interface imprint pulsed in vacuum. This one spinning outward, unseen, toward deep space. Caldera's tone was solemn. New signal. Not entity. Not sentinel. But Watcher-class Spectre, heading toward human space. Mara faced her bridge. Prepare drop beacons. Fleet posture alert. We've activated the mechanism. And now, it's got allies listening. Instinct pulled her fingers to the rail. With resolve, she pressed. This war has just begun. The mechanism pulsed like a heart of alien light, soft but steady, the resonance weaving through the Vanguard systems in whispering waves. It wasn't just reacting now. It was communicating, broadcasting. Captain Mara Leigh stood before the containment field as diagnostic lines shimmered on the glass. "Caldera," she said quietly, "what are we transmitting?" The AI's voice responded with precise calm. "Signal cascade structure. Unknown architecture. Not aggressive. Format implies invitation. Invitation from who? Unknown entities, but the signal was matched." Trell glanced up from the ops station. "Matched?" Someone answered. Caldera's tone dipped. "Multiple." Across the holomap, 6 pinpricks of blue light flickered. Remote systems. Distant quadrants. Empty space, until now. Raze stepped forward, armor still scorched. "They heard us." Cora's voice came over the internal channel. "And they're coming." In the lower deck strategy chamber, the crew assembled in full. Every senior officer. Every strategist. The lights dimmed as the new intelligence scrolled across the curved walls. Aaron activated projection mode. 3 of the 6 reply signals triangulated already. These are not sentinels. These are ships, but not Earth designs. And not allied. The room fell silent. Organic hulls. Biomechanical energy signatures. Deep spectrum power cores. Whoever they are, they've been listening a long time. Mara leaned in. Any movement? None toward Earth yet. But all 6 are repositioning. Toward each other. Rat's voice was low. "A meeting. A convergence," Cora corrected. "Some kind of conclave." Holt added. "They might be drawn to the mechanism. Not just to observe, but to decide what comes next." "Then we go," Mara said. "We don't let them decide. We speak for ourselves." 12 hours later, the Vanguard hung in orbit above a long-dead star system. Coordinates extrapolated from the convergence points. Ahead of them, a cradle of wreckage. Ancient ruins, skeletal megastructures drifting across silence. No comms. No beacons. But gravity trembled subtly, something massive arriving nearby. Then, one by one, they emerged. 6 ships. No beings. Each distinct. Each immense. One resembled a coiled obsidian WYRM, armor glinting like volcanic glass. Another was shaped like a cathedral with wings, burning with silent violet flame. A third glided like a ribbon across void, body segmented and shimmering like scales of thought. They moved without propulsion. They emanated presence. And at the heart of their formation, a 7th construct appeared. A cruciform node of living black stone. Not a ship. Not a mind. A place. Caldera's whisper carried tension. Dimensional junction. Transspatial nexus point forming. Raze stared. What are they building? Cora's mouth tightened. Not building. Revealing. Trell swallowed. A council. A judgment. The Vanguard's comms clicked. Then, against all protocol, opened themselves. A deep voice rolled in. Not sound. Intention. Humanity, come forward. You carry the mechanism. You claim the trial. We acknowledge your spark. Mara didn't hesitate. Open broadcast. Put me on. She stepped forward, chin high, eyes locked on the construct. This is Captain Mara Leigh of the human vessel Vanguard. We carry the mechanism, yes, but we don't seek judgment. We seek understanding. Then enter. One soul, one mind, one voice. Without a word, Mara stepped into the drop pod. The interior of the cruciform construct was unlike anything. Light, texture, memory shaped like architecture. She stood alone in a chamber without walls, just drifting panels of thought and history. Figures formed around her. Projections, avatars of the 6 watching entities. Some were humanoid, some not. One resembled a humanoid wolf made of starlight. Another, a floating prism of shifting shadows. You survived our echo. You overcame the chaotica. You kept the mechanism from entropy. Mara lifted her head. We did. You must now choose. What choice? To keep it, or pass it forward? Mara's eyes narrowed. Why us? Because no one else has dared to survive what you have. She stood in silence, sensing the weight of the moment. The mechanism is one of 7. It awakens others. But it must be carried, not held. If you accept, your world is changed forever. Mara didn't flinch. Humanity has already changed forever. Then we offer you what few have earned. Inclusion. When she returned to the bridge, the crew stood. Trell met her eyes. Well, Mara's voice was calm, quiet, but fierce. We're not just fighting now. We're part of something greater. They've given us the right to walk the paths of Star Founders. Wrath grunted. And what do we do with it? She turned toward the mechanism. It pulsed brighter than before, shimmering not just with light, but with direction. We go where it leads. Cora leaned over her console. New signal, an activation cascade. On the screen, a new point of light flared in a distant system. A pulse rippled outward. Then another. A map forming. A trail. Caldera confirmed. Mechanism signals awakening sequence. New coordinate stream plotted. Mara stepped forward. All hands, prepare for jump. She stared into the light. We've started something. Now we finish it. As the Vanguard prepared for faster-than-light jump, the mechanism's hum grew deeper. Behind them, the conclave vanished, fading into slipstream silence. Ahead, uncharted systems, waiting worlds, and more mechanisms awakening. The stars weren't empty anymore. They were listening. And so was humanity. The stars stretched like silk across the void as the Vanguard exited slipstream. Behind them, the conclave construct had vanished, leaving no trace in standard space. But the mechanism pulsed louder now, deep, resonant tones syncing with the ship's mainframe. It wasn't a device anymore. It was a compass. Trell stood beside Mara on the bridge, staring at the updated NAV field. You see this? She nodded. 5 new signatures. Same resonance as the mechanism. Same pattern. Caldera's voice chimed in. Signal path refined. Mechanism directive. Locate, awaken, and unify the remaining 5 fragments. Aaron tapped in stabilization coordinates. First fragments in the Andalcas rift. That's Ceterii space. Cora's voice cut in from the lower deck. Those systems are sealed. We've never gone deeper than recon patrols. Mara turned. Well, we are now. Wrath crossed the command floor, stopping just beside her. What if they're not as welcoming as the last? They won't be, she said. But we didn't come this far for easy. She keyed comms. X-Ultra, prep boarding gear. If this is a mechanism fragment, it'll be buried. And probably protected. 3 hours later, the Vanguard dropped out of warp into the Andalcas rift. What they saw wasn't space. It was debris. Massive black structures, ships, stations, maybe even cities, all shattered and drifting. Silent, graveyard-like. Lights flickered on some hulls, as if they still tried to wake. The target's signature pulsed deep in the center, like a heartbeat beneath rubble. Cora's breath caught in her throat. Something tried to protect this place, and failed. Caldera confirmed. Fragment located. Resonance buried beneath the structure field. Access route blocked by residual energy mines. Trell frowned. This wasn't just a battlefield. This was a last stand. Mara issued the command. We finish what they started. X-Ultra launched in 2 stealth pods, weaving between dead hulks and magnetic storms. Lightning arced between shattered wreckage. Their suits adjusted automatically, tuned by Caldera to suppress psionic interference. Inside Pod 2, Wrath checked his grav-pulse blade. Cora stared through the window at the drifting silence. Raze broke the quiet. Reminds you of Foros, doesn't it? Cora didn't look away. That world never got a last breath. Wrath murmured, neither will this one. Unless we wake what's sleeping. The structure holding the fragment was unlike anything. A spherical anomaly of black glass and bone, cracked and pulsing with light from within. The team breached through a weakened seam, emerging into a gravity well that was wrong. Vin stumbled slightly. The floor thinks it's the ceiling. Caldera corrected their suit's orientation remotely. Anchor protocols recalibrated. Proceed. At the core, they found it. A fragment of the mechanism. Not a copy, a piece. Raw, humming with life. It floated above an altar of twisted alloys, suspended in air by gravitational light. But it wasn't alone. Across the chamber, dark shapes emerged. Tall. Humanoid. Wrong. Their armor looked fused into their bodies. Mouths sealed. Eyes empty. Wrath raised his weapon. Guardians. Raze flicked his rifle to pulse mode. Or prisoners. They charged. The battle was brutal. The Guardians moved like ghosts, fast and weightless. One slammed Vin into a pillar before Wrath bisected it in midair. Cora disabled another with a disruptor spike to the neck, only to find it still moving, twitching forward. Raze fired a grav round into the altar's base. The fragment flared with light, and suddenly the Guardians hesitated. The mechanism fragment responded to them, or controlled them. Mara's voice rang out across the channel. Retrieve it. Now. Cora leapt forward, sliding beneath a strike and slamming a containment field around the fragment. The moment it was sealed, every Guardian froze mid-motion. Then, they shattered like glass. Back aboard the Vanguard, the fragment was placed into containment beside the first. The moment the 2 pieces aligned, light surged through the room. The hum deepened. Caldera recalibrated. Core network forming. 2 of 7 linked. Remaining fragments now identifiable. Pathway updates in progress. Aaron stared. We can see them all now. Trell asked the obvious. And what's waiting for us at the end? Mara didn't blink. The reason they were broken in the first place. Holt frowned. So we're assembling something they were trying to hide? Or something they failed to protect? A pulse echoed across the bridge. New coordinates lit up. Far rim. Unexplored system. Unknown life forms. Wrath stepped beside her. You sure this is a war we can win? Mara looked at the fragments, listened to their hum, and nodded. With every step, we remind them, humanity never backs down.